What's up, everyone? Todd Castline here. Wanted to talk to y'all about tournaments. And I really wanted to discuss something really important and exciting. Like really exciting. And I really want to get into this. Back in the day, we used to all look at tournaments differently. And I don't know why it changed all of a sudden. It changed to looking at tournaments in a different way. But when I was younger and the way I was taught, we always put a pen and paper to it, right? We always looked at tournaments as how could we make money fishing tournaments, right? That's why we all fish tournaments, was to make money, have a good time, go catch some fish, and basically gamble a little bit with the chances of making money. And all of a sudden now it's like we just want to go fish tournaments and give our money away with not much in return. And so I wanted to make this video. I wanted to tell you all about a new trail and explain why this trail is doing things a certain way, probably different than most, and they should be looked at as this is what we should strive to, like this is what we should be doing. And so I'm going to try to go over everything and explain this to you guys, and that way maybe you will look and have a different outlook on other trails, but really have a different outlook on this trail and what they're trying to accomplish, guys. This is going to be good, I promise. All right, when talking about this, I talked about the payouts at the end of the video, not on purpose. That's just what I got to. I went kind of within the rules. You got to stay for the payouts. The payout discussion is huge, and why and how much money they're giving away. That's really the biggest deal about the entire tournament trail. Stick around for that, guys. So why was this trail made? All right, guys, what I'm talking about is the TTO Pro Team Trail. This is going to be the biggest team trail in the country. And what I mean by that is it's going to be the biggest entry fee. Yeah. It's also going to be the biggest payout. Like they're giving away more money in this event than any event team trail ever. Okay. That's what's really cool about it. And they're setting it up in a different way. Okay. So what are they trying to accomplish? Guys, in today's society, it seems like the trails that I've been fishing over 20 years, the entry fee has basically stayed the same, right? Everything stayed the same. The entry fee and the payout for 20 years. Like people want a $140 entry fee with pretty much not much payout. The problem is gas, boats, tackle, everything else is going up, right? So now you go fish these tournaments and you basically lose money to go fish a tournament sometimes. Like you might get a last place check, or shoot, you might get a 10th place check and lose money in the event, right? And so this isn't for everyone, but there are a lot of us out there that are just like, when we go put in time away from the family, travel, we're going to go put in effort, time. Like I want something, at least a chance to make some money, and not just first place. Like, right? First place, if 100 guys fish, there's 99 guys that lost, right? That didn't get first. I'm talking about a trail that when you actually do good, you might not have won it, but you still made a lot of money in the trail, right? That's what we want. There's a lot of us that want that. So that's what they're trying to accomplish is, you know, yes, the entry fee might be higher than most. Great. There's 1,000 trails that you can go spend money on that are $150 to $200 entry fees. But there's none you can go actually and fish a trail, a team trail, for a lot of money. Now we got one. All right. So what are they trying to accomplish? They're trying to give us anglers a different look, right? A different tournament, something that's not like everything else. And they're trying to do it in a fair way, okay? And they've really put a lot of thought into this. There's a lot that goes in this. And I'm gonna go over every single one of these steps they put in. And I'm gonna be outright honest with you about them. Like I'm gonna tell you why they did this. And some people aren't gonna like why they did it. I think most people will though, because of how fair they're trying to make it. And that's the whole point, right? There's no favorites, there's nothing like this. It's trying to be a fair tournament. That way, when you show up, you think you have just as much, you know, opportunity to catch them as the next guy, right? So let's dive into some of these rules. Pre-register. Pre-register is a big deal, okay? If you look at the rules, and I'll show how to, I'll show the website and where to go look it up, and I'll even show screenshots of it while I'm talking. If you see pre-register, they have pre-register because the goal is this. They're trying to get 100 teams, and they want 100 teams to fish all 3 events. okay? The reason that's a big deal is this. I'll be honest, we don't want jackpotters. We don't want guys just jackpotting their lake and not fishing the other ones. I have no problem if you, the best fisherman on Texoma, but we want you to have to fish the other two as well. And that way, if all 100 teams sign up for all 3 events, you know, it's fair, right? That way we don't have any jackpotting. So that's a big deal. So we're trying to fill up all 100 teams. It's very important to fill up this event with 100 teams at every single event, okay? That's why there's a pre-registration, and it's gonna be closed up. If it gets closed up, the guy waiting a day or two before the event, trying to jackpot it, now can't get in it. So he's looking around going, man, they're having this big giant event where I can win a bunch of money on my home lake, and now I can't get in this event because I didn't sign up for the other 2. So guys, that's what we want. We want guys signing up for all 3 events, okay? That way, when they go to these other lakes that they might not be good at, y'all get to take their money. I mean, that's what we're looking at. Here's the other thing, guys, the waiting list. Waiting list is a big deal. It goes back into the whole jackpotting thing. If you missed it, like say you're boat 101, right? And you're wanting to get in these events, you're gonna have to pay your deposits for all 3 of them. The reason is that way if something happens, God forbid something happens to someone or they can't fish the rest of them, you're next in line, right? And that way, but you're on record for being next in line, right? And why that's important is that way, like I said, we don't have some random guy just trying to get in there at the last second. That waiting list is a big deal. And chances are, I've seen this, it's almost impossible for 100 teams to fish all 3 events. Like something's going to happen. Someone will probably back out. So I would suggest getting on the waiting list. You got a really, really good chance of getting in these events, like I said. But the guys on the waiting list, it's still going to be that the guys that sign up for all 3 of them, those will be first priority. Like I said, we're trying to do it to where we don't want guys just getting in one event. We want guys getting in all 3 events. That's important. It should be important to y'all. So it's something to think about. Next is you're going to see them, they have an off limits. The off limits is 10 days. Okay. So you'll have 10 days off limits, a 2-day practice for a 2-day tournament. The off limits, guys, I mean, I fished a lot of the Toyota series. I fished a lot of the opens. You hear about these guys spending a month on the lake. It's just ridiculous. Okay. I mean, once again, the guys that feel like they have jobs, they have a lot of money that they can go do all that. That's great. But for a lot of us, and even me, like I don't spend that much time practicing. I like a 2-day practice. I could handle a 1-day practice. It doesn't bother me. I don't care if I haven't been to a lake in 4 or 5 years. If y'all follow my channel, y'all know I show up to Amstead after not being there for 2 years. Okay, there's a couple things it does. It keeps people off the lake. Okay, it keeps the guys that have to work 5 days a week from worrying about the guy that has all the time in the world to go out there and practice. It's going to make it more fair. That's what we're trying to do, right? Make it as fair as possible. And so that way, you don't have guys out there. It's going to make for a better event. I promise you it'll make for a better event. The reason is I've fished all these lakes. When you get to practice as much as you want to, the lake becomes horrible after 5 days. I mean, guys just set the hook on everything. With a limited amount of practice, it always makes the lake fish better. Prime example is watch the elites. Anytime the elites go anywhere, they usually have pretty good tournaments, but they have very few guys fishing the elites. They don't have a lot of practice, so they catch them in the tournament. So it makes for a better tournament, a much more fun tournament for guys to fish. That's a big deal. And guys, we only got 100 teams. The reason they did 100 teams is for a couple reasons. Right now, yes, they're going to Rayburn, Palestine, and Texoma. But this is going to keep going, guys. So with 100 teams, it opens up a whole bunch of different venues. We can go to lakes now that normal big tournaments can't go to because we don't have that many teams. So keep that in mind. Hopefully this schedule will continue to evolve and change to where we go to some unique places and good places. Like good places. If you notice, I've always wanted to go to the best lakes around. I hate going to bad lakes. I don't care what anyone says. I hate, and not tough events, bad lakes in general, like bad places to fish. Like if I have all this time to where I'm gonna go practice and go fish a 2-day event, I'm sorry guys, like I want to go to a place where we catch them. Like I want to see guys catch them really, really good. It's more fun. It's not fun going to a lake and guys catching, bringing in 2 and 3 fish and that's something good. Like no one likes that. I promise you. They can say they do. It's not fun for most people. I'm the guy that I want to go crush on them as much as possible. The 100 teams, that makes that possible. We can now maybe go to different lakes. I bet you they'll take that in consideration. I know they have. So look to that. That's going to be a big deal. All right. I probably should have started with this, right? I probably should have started with this, but I didn't. The payout. All right, guys, just look at the payout. Put a pen and paper to the payout. Study this carefully, guys, okay? I want you to take some things into consideration. Remember, 100 teams, right? A lot of these trails we fish, sometimes they have 250, 300 teams, and they're like, hey, they pay down to 40th place. Well, there was 300 teams, right? They're paying a lot in this event. Look at it. This was made basically for a top 10, top 12 heavy payout. And the reason that is this. So many trails dangle that carrot out there for you. This big prize for first place, right? And that's great. I get it. The problem is there's only one winner, okay? And you might win by 0.01 that day, and the guy in second place did really good, and the drop off from first to second, it is so bad. It's sometimes $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 difference, right? And I don't know where that became something that's great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with second place guys or third place. Don't quote me on the whole, if you're not first, you're last, second place is the first loser. I get it, right? But in reality, I still want to get paid for second. I still want to get paid for third, fourth, fifth. When you look at the top 10, if you make a top 10 in any event, it's a big deal. Well, I want to get paid for making a top 10. And so that's what it's going on. It's going on those guys in the top 10 getting really paid, maybe top 12. The problem is a lot of times you look at in 10th place and 28th place, there's a $100 difference in there, right? But you might have beat that guy by 5 pounds. You beat him by a lot, but it doesn't show in the payout. So what they're doing here is they're paying really heavy, and then the rest of it, who gets checks, it's basically just saying, hey, you did good, you'll get your entry fee back, and the entry fee plus a little bit more. I mean, it's $2,000 isn't something, it's not too shabby, right? But it lets you play one more tournament, right? It gives you another chance to go after that top 10, not first, but a top 10, right? I mean, that's what we're all after. So that's one deal. I want to explain this next part. 95% payout. Now listen, I want y'all to actually study some things. 95% payout of your entry fee, okay? Now, why that's a big deal, I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret, guys. Trails put on there sometimes 100% payout or 105% payout. Well, a lot of times that's gifts. It's rods and reels. Well, they're getting those things for free, right? Sponsors are giving them to them for free, and that's great and everything. But your money, your actual money that you hand them, that should be the actual consensus of what they're paying back, right? So their TTO is paying back 95% of the money you hand them. That's unheard of, guys. It's unheard of, I promise you. Now here's the other deal, the side pot. The side pot should be the biggest light bulb that goes off on you ever. Here's why side pots should be in every tournament trail, and I'm giving a secret away. They should not be telling you this. Side pots are 100% payback. 100%. Guaranteed, straight cash, payback. The reason people don't want to do side pots is it's hard for a trail to keep your money when it's 100% payback, right? So now they have to keep track of that side pot money. They don't get to take any of it on their own, and they have to redistribute it, figure it all out, and then hand it back out. Well, there's two reasons they're going to do this. One is a lot of these trails are trying, you know, I don't know why trails all of a sudden started saying all these guys can't fish, right? Well, there's these entry fee rules. Entry fee for this trail is $1,000. So it's $500 a piece, right? The side pot is extra. The side pot has nothing to do with an entry fee. It is just extra money that we're all playing for. And what's cool is that side pot money is huge. It is there for the incentive that everyone, 100% of the people should get in the side pot. If you're not wanting to get in the side pot, you probably shouldn't be fishing this trail. The side pot is probably the biggest incentive to fish this trail because it is 100% payback. So the side pot's there. It makes your check like go through the roof, okay? And so really check that out. The side pot is a big deal. And to be honest with you, we should all be wanting the side pot in every single event we fished. Like I said, if you're not really wanting to get in the side pot, this trail is probably not for you. That's the biggest, giant, that's the greatest incentive ever, is to fish this. Is that the only money going to be given away? No. All right, in a lot of tournament trails, you see championships. I've only seen 2 or 3 championships that are actually worth it. What I mean by that is they're free, which is what a championship should be, and the prize is really, really good. And basically not so much the first place prize, but the entire prize. The All-American, one of the best championships around, right? It's free. They supply everything. You're going to get a check. The Forest Wood Cup, once you make it, it's free. You get a $10,000 check. It's awesome. Bassmaster Classic, right? But guys, these are thousands and thousands of people shelling out money to get a championship. These other championships are just kind of glorified tournaments. They're not bad, but there's also hidden fees, right? Throughout the year, a little bit of that money that you spend gets taken out towards the championship. Well, like I said, this is a little bit different concept. Here is, we're just going to fish for the money that we put up for that event, okay? So, I mean, there's no hidden fees, not like, you know, you're going to not make the championship and you shell out money for a championship that you don't qualify for. None of that's going to happen. We're just going to fish for the money that we put up and then some. Now, here's the kicker though. Angler of the Year, okay? Angler of the Year is a big deal. I don't exactly know how they're going to structure it. I do know that there is $25,000 in the pot for Angler of the Year. It's not our money, guys. It's not the money we're putting up. They did a phenomenal job of going out there and getting some money and basically giving it away to us. $25,000 to the top 10 Angler of the Year. To be honest with you, who really cares how they divide it up? It's extra money that we're getting. Like, that's just incredible. What I like what they did, this is pretty cool. You are not eligible for Angler of the Year if you don't get in the side pot money. Once again, the side pot money is important. 100% of us should all pay it. Like I said, if you're not in the side pot, this probably just isn't the tournament for you. So it's something to think about. But I like what they did there. So pay your side pot money. This is what this is. We're trying to accomplish something really big here. They're trying to accomplish something really big here. Pay the side pot money. Get in with that Angler of the Year money. That's a lot of money that they're going to shell out to the top 10 Anglers of the Year teams at the end of the year. I'm a big believer in incentives. I look at incentives across the board from almost every decision I make, to buying boats, vehicles, rods, reels, baits, sunglasses, clothing, you name it. Trails that have incentives are good trails. Okay, any trail that has a good incentive. If a boat, you know, wants to give an incentive away to fish that trail, that's a good trail. And the reason that's a good trail is the company believes enough in that trail that they're saying, hey, we want all y'all to fish this trail. We're going to give this away. So I know Phoenix is doing it. Pretty sure Skeeter is doing it. We're going to work with Toyota, Power Pole. I think we're going to try to get a lot of incentives in this trail. That's a big deal because now instead of winning $32,000, I believe with Phoenix, it's going to be $7,000 more. So now we're up to $39,000, right? We're talking $39,000 an event. Like every time you win, you could possibly win $39,000. I'm not sure what Skeeter's going to be yet. I'm not sure what all the incentives are going to be yet. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I bring that up because you should be looking at those, not the incentives as a whole, but as the trail is able to create all these incentives. That's just more ways for you to win money, right, guys? I mean, and it's your responsibility to take care of those incentives and try to get them. But I'm always in favor of a trail who goes out of their way to get those in their trail, right? It's just more ways we can win money. And it's kind of free money, guys, right? I mean, if you already have it, you might as well win money off of it. So keep that in mind. All right, lastly, guys, I don't want to keep you too long. This trail was just meant for something different, right? That's all it was. It's something that's not out there that a lot of us have wanted. I mean, a ton of us. A lot of people said it couldn't be done. A lot of people said no one wanted to fish this thing. I promise you, there's guys out there that want to. And the reason is, a lot of us that fish individual stuff, like me personally, I love team stuff. This just allows us, a lot of us guys that want to go fish for a lot of money, a trail that looks right, does everything right. And it seems like Donnie and Daryl have put this together in a great, smart way. And man, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this plays out. I know it's going to play out well. So I know this is just going to be one more thing that they're striving to make really well. It's going to be the first year, guys. This is going to be exciting. The schedule, guys. I know the schedule's in the fall. We don't have much stuff to fish in the fall. Like the fall in Texas, unlike a ton of other places around the country, our fall fishing is phenomenal. And so if you look at it, they put them on lakes where the fishing's really good. They stayed away from the deer hunting. They stayed away from this kind of hunting. They tried to work around, all the big schedules. They tried to work around the hunting stuff. And it gave us guys that like to fish in the fall something big we can go do. It doesn't interfere with any of our spring stuff. So it's just, man, it's just a great way. I encourage all y'all, do your research on it, read the rules, read over everything, call up Donnie and Daryl, talk to those guys. If you got a question on this, drop a question, drop a comment. There's a lot of these things I could probably answer as well. I'm sure they'll be looking at this, answering questions on here as well. I'll leave their phone numbers. Check them out on Facebook. I'll leave that up there. And just like I said, call them up, talk to them about it. I'm sure they'll be glad to tell you everything of what they're trying to accomplish. I hope this helps, guys. Hope to see y'all out there.